Parents, every Sunday night the same battle starts again. Your child's stomach hurts, the tears come. By Monday morning, you're standing at the door, watching the clock, running late, watching your kiddo fall apart, and you already know the school parking lot is going to just be that much worse. You've been told things like it's anxiety, it's just a phase, you've got to be firm and push them through it. But deep down, you know something bigger is happening, and this isn't your child just being difficult. This is a nervous system in crisis. So, what I'm going to do is go over some main talking points about why we're seeing these issues with kiddos. And this is specifically for parents whose kids just, they genuinely can't get them in the classroom. So for parents who are tired of their kid being just manipulative, even though they're not, parents who just know in their gut there's something deeper driving the meltdowns, the stomach aches, and the panic. So what I'm going to do today is go over 5 talking points behind some of the science and neurology about why we might be experiencing this. So first is going to be the real difference between the school refusal and truancy and why it matters. Second, why some kids melt down at school door while others don't. Third, how the vagus nerve and autonomic nervous system can drive and regulate this pattern. Fourth, we dive into the perfect storm history that almost every school refusing kiddo shares. And then fifth, what neurologically focused chiropractic care actually does to help with this. So school refusal, it affects an estimated 2 to 5% of school-age children, and most of them aren't being defiant. They genuinely want to attend, but their nervous system responds to the school environment like it's a threat. In our office, we have seen many kiddos struggle with like the same issue before starting care. Some would get so anxious and worked up that they just have massive stomach aches and pains, even to the point where they'd start throwing up. And parents, you aren't alone, and you deserve to have the start of the day on the right foot. Instead of an uphill battle, it just feels like you just can't catch up, you just can't get a break. And here at our office, we've seen some pretty awesome results with kiddos when it comes to anxiety, especially when we focus on that root cause, neurologically focused chiropractic care, which helps them get off of that branch of our autonomic nervous system that represents sympathetic stress dominance, or that gas pedal is what we'll refer to later throughout this video. So some of the science behind it. First, school is not defiance, it's a nervous system response. So when we have school refusal and truancy, they can look very similar on paper, but they're completely different. Truancy is a choice. School refusal is a child who generally just, they can't attend. They physically don't feel like they can do it. Their survival brain takes over and their thinking brain kind of shuts down and goes offline. Punishment doesn't change neurology. It actually adds more stress and overloaded nervous system. And this is why the just push through advice almost always backfires, because you get a lot more pushback, and it's because their bodies just can't process it well. Second, the autonomic nervous system is stuck on that gas pedal. So I kind of touched on it earlier, but think of it like a car with the gas and brake pedal system. Sympathetic or fight or flight system, that is our gas pedal. The brake pedal, that's where healing, growth, and development takes place, that's the brake pedal. This is where recovery, regulation, all that stuff happens. And so with our school refusing kiddos, they often feel like that gas pedal has been stuck down for months, if not years. And their nervous system is just locked in that sympathetic dominance state, which essentially makes those classrooms seem like danger. Third, the vagus nerve is that missing piece. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve that runs through the parasympathetic system. It controls digestion, heart rate, emotional regulation, and social engagement. When it's working optimally, kids can read faces, tolerate stress, and feel safe socially. When it's compromised, the nervous system can't distinguish between safe and threatening emotions or scenarios, feelings. And so the morning stomach aches are vagus nerve distress signals from the gut to that brain. So fourth, we're going to dive into that perfect storm that builds for years. So most school refusing kids have a history that started long before they were born. Things like prenatal stress floods into developing baby with cortisol, and that shapes the nervous system reactivity in utero. Things like birth trauma, forceps, vacuum, C-section, prolonged labor, strains in the upper neck and brainstem. These all lead to some early childhood developmental issues and layers that just stack on layers on layers. And you start to see more susceptibility to things like sickness, ear infections, colic, all those things. And then eventually what happens is that just keeps building and building. And by the time they hit school age, they've had many years of momentum going. And so, fifth, what we talk about is how neurological chiropractic care helps. And so, what we do in our office is we measure a few different scans. We measure HRV, segmental electromyography, and then we also measure thermal. All three of these kind of give us a report card on your nervous system, and they tell us different things that help us address: is it tension? Are we wound up? Are we shut down and tired? Do we need to help wake stuff up? It really helps us specialize for each individual kiddo what kind of care they might need to help benefit them in regards to engaging the vagus nerve and getting it more online. So, parents, if your child has struggled with school refusal, please hear this. Your child isn't broken, and this isn't your fault. They're stuck in that stress mode, and the nervous system can change. But first, someone has to actually look at it, measure it, and address what is the driving response at the root. That's exactly what we do here at Live and Hope Chiropractic in Greenwood, Indiana. Our team would love to sit down with your family, run a full neurological evaluation, map out a path forward. So click the link in our bio or send us a DM to get started with your neuro-focused chiropractic journey. Your child deserves more than a label. They deserve answers.